start a new project. Here's my, I've just cut some cardstock and I've scored down the centre either side to create a spine. I've kept this bit that was due to my bad measuring. I thought it might make it a nice belly band at some point. Anyway, next I am going to add on these beautiful cutouts that I've cut using my new toy, my Cricut machine. I'm going to stick these on here and then I shall grunge everything up. So that's very exciting. So I'm going to glue that off camera. Glued down. And now I need to distress this a bit. This is the Tim Holtz cardstock. You can distress with sandpaper. I probably should have done that before I stuck this on, but never mind. And distress it with it. I'm not going to go too mad because I'm going to come in with a lot of ink in a minute anyway. And you can see where I'm making the creases. You get this really cool effect. I've got some oxide sprays. I have aged mahogany and shabby shutters. I've already given them a good shake. I'm not quite sure what's going to happen when I do this, so we'll see the effect. I can always come back in and glue down the little bits that are peeled off in that sanding process. I want that to be quite subtle. So I'm going to let that dry. It's dried with some lovely texture. I'll come in now with some pumice stone and just see what effect that does on the raised surface here. Just start to give that a bit of an aging. That was obviously not dry as I thought it was. Never mind, we'll work with it. What I'm doing now is just slowly and patiently building up an aged look. I think I'm going to go in with the scorched timber. Basically, what I don't want it to do is look flat. So, layers of different colours, shadow, you're building up shadow, you're building up interest. Hopefully, if I concentrate on one side first, you might see the difference. It's starting to go a bit more on that side now. Knowing when to stop is the biggest problem. Your edges are going to be the bits that get the most wear. So, and really slowly building up layers of colour coming in from the edge helps really give it depth. I think what I'm going to do in a second is be very brave and come in with some more spray. Just distressing some translucent, so they're going over the top of those oxides. changing the colour, but you can still see. I feel like I need a bit more of this shabby shutters. Yes, that's exactly what I was after. I've also got these distress stains. I've got a couple of colours which I think will look nice on here. I've got Iron Gate and Decayed. You can see what colour they are. This is what Decayed is my favourite one, but this is a new one. The Iron Gate. I'm going to give this it's a little bit flat looking here, so let's come in with a bit of this. We'll let that dry. If you don't have a Cricut machine, or you don't have access to purchase any of these cardboard cutouts, you can also have a very similar effect using modelling paste. So all I do with this is I get a stencil and I get my modelling paste, scrape it over and let it dry, sand back any bits that are a bit rough, and then paint over the top. So these are two that I've been experimenting with. As you can see, this one is a lovely coppery, rusty patina that's coming on this one, and I haven't got much too far with this. This one needs a bit more work, but I really like this area here. I might use these as covers, or I might even just cut them up and use them in other projects. But that's another way. If you'd like me to do a tutorial showing how I do these, then please let me know and I will. It's pretty much dry now, and as I turn it in the light, you can see the different colours shimmering, and it really does feel now that this cutout has always been a part of this book. I'm really pleased with how this is looking. So this is going to be the cover on a new journal project. Next thing I'm going to do is another little experiment. I'm just going to get some water in my hand and flick a few bits on. And this, if you just let it sit for a few seconds, it can reactivate some of the ink that's on there, depending on whether it's the distress ink or not. So we'll let that sit for a second or two, and then you lift it off. I'd like to thank Alison Words and Pictures for sharing this technique, although I'm sure it's a very common technique on Tim Holtz products. Yeah, let's give it another little interesting, you can just see where the ink has lifted off in certain places. I feel it still needs a darker edge. We're almost getting to that point of, is it time to stop? Some of the darker colours had got a bit lost underneath the subsequent sprays. It's all about building up your layers. There. A bit more. Just keep going. I'm really going to come in at the corners now. And because there's now quite a bit of layers of ink here, I think the water splash technique might work really well on there. So I'm going to give it a minute or two for that to dry and really, and then I think it works better when it's dry. Let's just Jessica. That looks nice. This is going to make a beautiful, beautiful journal cover. I hope you enjoyed watching that. Please come back and watch me make this and other journals. I'm going to keep this video short and just post this one just for the cover.